welcome to my talk, how to create a marketing strategy for a B2B company that you can actually deliver. And actually is bolded because I feel like a lot of the time when we write marketing strategies, from my personal experience, it tends to be a bit of a shopping list to impress leaders with our ideas because they're always wanting more and more and more from us. I'm here today to talk about how we can simplify the process of writing a strategy so that you can actually deliver it. Just to introduce myself, I'm B2B Jade. You may know me from TikTok. I'm a TikTok influencer. And I'm also the founder of the B2B Breakthrough Academy. I built my 6-module marketing strategy course based on the back of insights from my TikTok channel where people were saying, look, I'm really stuck. Can you recommend any courses? Have you got any templates? And I hate making templates, but I was like, fine, I'll make one. So I founded the course as something that I would have wanted when I was working in corporate as a B2B marketer. So my background is that I have got 18 years experience in B2B, started in a humble sales cold calling role back in 2006, and then fighting my way into marketing and up in seniority, working most recently in DS Smith PLC, a FTSE 100 business running their international marketing department, one of the divisions of. So I want to talk to you first today about failure. You're going to hear loads of stories of success today, and myself, I'm going to be going to other sessions to hear the incredible things that people are doing, and personally it makes me so inspired. But what I want to talk about is if that ever makes you feel like you're less than, like I could never do that, I can't be like those guys, they must have some magic formula that I don't know about, I'm your person. So my story is that I've struggled a lot in B2B marketing. I was called a school dropout. I slept in when a boy broke my heart and lost 3 GCSEs. I was a school dropout, I was a college dropout when I left my art folder on the bus after 9 months of working really hard at art college. I was told you will never get into marketing, you're just a sales girl with no marketing experience and no degree. And that just followed through. I've run failed campaigns, I've been told I was the biggest waste of money a founder had ever invested in, and the story just went on. Obviously along the way I did some things right, but I just wanted to share with you that people's highlights are not the full picture. So today I decided to share with you how learning from these failures, building on this imposter syndrome that I felt constantly, actually turned out to be my superpower. So let's talk about why we aren't getting results from our marketing. So if you're struggling, feeling like no matter what I do, no matter how many tasks I complete for the sales leaders, for the CEO, no matter how many things I do, no matter how many hours I work, there never seems to be results. I never seem to feel like I'm achieving anything. I've called this the B2B marketing gap. This is why we're not seeing results. And it is the huge void between where leaders are sitting with their business focus and what we're doing day to day as marketers, where strategy should be. The reason this happens is that the people who brought you in may well be the CEO themselves, so they don't have marketing experience. They've never seen a marketing strategy work in reality. They set up their business and they were able to network to get clients, and then when they reach a certain size they recognise they need marketing, and then they go, get me leads. You don't need budget, get me leads. Come on, you're the marketer, you don't need to pay someone to do that, do it yourself. And then you feel like, well, I can't do it all myself, when technically you can write an email, technically you can post on social media, technically you can book events, you can do everything, technically, but you can't do all of it well and then get results. So this marketing gap is why I exist, is what I'm here to close, by helping marketers be more strategic and more confident to step up to leaders. And so what you find is that you get stuck on the marketing task wheel. So anyone here heard of the task wheel from my TikTok? Oh yay, a few of you, awesome. The task wheel is where Your job is a to-do list of 60 items. You cross off 30, another 30 come on. You get it down to 5 by working late 4 nights in a row. I've done the 15-hour days. And then you just get more and you get more. And then at the end of the quarter, they go, where's the leads? What have you been doing? What have you been doing with your time? And you're like, I've been working my ass off for you. And are you serious? I've been telling you that I need resource, I need budget, I need to get things right. So what we'll cover today, we haven't got very long. I'm going to go through a really top level how to create a B2B marketing strategy. I'm going to talk about how, from my own experience, it's about simplifying the process so that you can actually deliver on it. We're going to look at a brief overview of a template from my course, and we're going to look at just a really quick example of how you could take a business focus area all the way through to a set of tactics. Obviously we've not got long, so it's not going to be very in-depth, but if you want to see me go in-depth on marketing objectives, I am talking again at 3 o'clock, literally here. So my main message, and if you take anything away today, is that marketing strategy, it feels stressful to us because we can't find the time in the day. You wouldn't believe the amount of people who want to take my course, but they're like, I can't build a strategy, I don't have time. And it's like, actually building a simple to follow marketing strategy that has the amount of activities in it that are necessary and no more is actually going to free you up to have a lot more time. So it's not about doing more, it's about doing the right things. Only as many as are necessary to get us from where we are now to where we need to be. But there is such a pressure from leaders to go, what's your ideas? Oh, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? And you kind of give them this shopping list that you know deep down you just can't deliver. So the first step in our 6 stages of creating a marketing strategy, you'll have heard about the marketing audit. We all know what a marketing audit is, but if you're anything like me, and I don't know, maybe you're better, more experienced than me, I just found the marketing audit terrifying. I just skipped over sections, freaked out with the different models. I really believe the audit needs to be simplified. So I just called it a marketing review. In this stage, we just need to figure out from our leaders, where are we going? What do we need to do? What's the vision? What's the mission? Okay, is that fit for purpose? Who are our customers? What do they actually want? What do they find frustrating about others on the market? And keeping it super simple. I think that because I come from a sales background where I had to make 100 cold calls a day, leading to 4 demos, leading to closing 1, hopefully 2, I just see through all the BS in marketing models that are absolutely necessary in very complex, large corporate structures. But if you work in a small and medium-sized B2B and you don't actually have a simple marketing strategy in place, we should not be worrying ourselves with these difficult to follow models. I always thought, look, what do the people want? How do we make sure the business delivers that? And that is what marketing's about. How do we get insights, feed that into the business, and help the business be set up to meet what customers need? So when you're doing your marketing review, and you can get my template completely free if you want it, there's a link at the end. You just work through it, it's all simple questions. What are our revenue targets? Who are our customers? All the things that you're going to need to move forward into actually creating your plan. We need to get real about our resources within the review too. So we need to really be almost negative in the review. I feel like marketers think, oh, this review, we need to showcase all these good things because otherwise I'm going to go in and present to leadership and they're just going to tear me apart. Well, bring it on. I don't care if they tear me apart. Eventually I'll leave if you're not going to treat me well, if you're not going to listen to me. I'd rather do the right thing by pointing out, guys, if you want to double in revenue, which is what all CEOs say, we want to double in the next 5 years, it's just the standard thing, then this is what we're going to need to do. These are our current challenges, this is where our marketing has been failing, this is what has worked, we should build on that, we should drop those. So your review needs to be just really hearty and down to earth. Also need to check out your competitors, what they're up to, how they're positioning themselves. It's all within the review template. So that would be step 1. Once you get into step 2, which is to set your marketing objectives, we really want to make sure that these are hitting real, that they're genuinely not fluffy, that they are not tactics, because that's the biggest one I see when I'm doing reviews of my students' marketing strategies before they've taken my course. I will talk about it later at 3 o'clock in much more detail, but we've got to make sure that we're really zooming in on what our leaders are telling us the business challenges are, what they actually need to achieve. I'll give you a great example. In one of my first junior marketing jobs, I did a bit of SEO on my own off the back of learning about it, and I tripled the sales leads into the business. Felt very proud of myself when the sales team then called me in and said, "What is this junk? We're trying to focus on 6-figure corporate accounts. You're sending us people who would be like £20 a month fees. What have you done? You're a loser." And so obviously that was a failing, but it was a great piece of experience for me to learn that actually we need to look at what the business wants to achieve, and for that particular company it was retention that was needed. So just a sample of a marketing objective, and I do them slightly different than SMART goals, which I, in my personal experience, have found they end up taking me down too much of a tactical route. If the company focus area was, okay, we need to improve our falling client retention rates, and I like to have just really human language conversations with leaders, not needing them to give me a formal business strategy presentation. I just want to have a chat with them. Okay, so the marketing objective for me would not be increase customer retention rate by 15% within 6 months. Why not? Well, that's because I know that then we would just be hounding our existing clients with offers and promotions to get them to stay with us. All that does is put paper over the cracks. I want my marketing objective to be, let's better understand what sure the business is set up to deliver that. By setting that as my objective, that takes me down the right path with my strategies and tactics in the next step, and I don't get too obsessed with the output. But we do need to measure something, so my key results would be to achieve that 15% increase and also to improve client satisfaction rates, because if satisfaction goes up, you're more likely to keep people. Success indicators would be, I know people call them KPIs, I just don't like them, they just sound mean. So number of meetings that have been held focused on improving satisfaction and addressing concerns of clients, improved client satisfaction survey results, and good reviews from clients, great feedback from employees. You know, when most of us are not in these huge global corporates, we can say to key accounts, how are you getting on with your clients? Are they seeming happy now? How's it going, Director of Operations? Is everyone sort of seeming happy? So again, 3 o'clock we'll go into that in a lot more detail. Okay, so setting your budget, I usually do within my course, we do the budget part at the same time. So typically I recommend, this could be a whole podcast episode, 4 to 8% of sales revenue. That's assuming that you have a healthy profit margin of 15% or above, and I just lost my timer. So consult your finance director. Are we healthy profit-wise? Are we in a good position? How are things looking? Yeah, great. I mean, a consulting firm I work with, good profitability for them is like 30%. So 50%. Consult your finance. So a lot of the marketers that I coach and have been on my course, so my students, they're telling me they've got like a 0.5% of sales revenue budget. And this is exactly why they're not getting results. They're ending up doing things in-house to save budget, to save money, and then that means that they're not getting those results. Because as a marketing manager, you should be orchestrating a plan and outsourcing to experts to deliver for you, and then coordinating your results to leadership in line with a simple strategy. So anyone here who feels like I did, working so hard and still failing, it's absolutely because of this, the marketing gap and the lack of budget. So we've got to raise a case for investing properly in marketing. So say you have, okay, so 3 factors to figure out your 4 to 8% of sales revenue. Number 1, how ambitious are our growth goals? My husband's company, they've hit their targets for the year, they've got enough repeat work, their clients are fine, so that's quite low. They're not very ambitious, they're happy with the numbers that are coming in, so they'd be a 3 out of 10. Maybe your company is a 9 out of 10, you're going to triple in 3 years. How aggressive are the competition? Are they really going at it, or are they more traditional, old school, they're not really that hard on their marketing? And then lastly, how large is the challenge we face in terms of trust and recognition? Have we just entered a new market where nobody knows us, and that's a real uphill battle for us? So you take your score, it's not really that mathematical, 20 out of 30, okay, go in the middle, 6%. So if you're a 12 million revenue business, you'd be recommending a budget of 720,000. And you'd be saying to the FD, look, in the first year, we're going to be setting up systems, we're going to be getting things right, we're going to be building our foundations, and you're not going to go from 50K to 700K, obviously. But it's a conversation starter. This is what other B2B companies in our industry would be spending. This is what we should be spending. Are you joking with the 80K? I can't even get what I need to literally do the foundations of the strategy. So figure out your budget at the same time as your objectives, because your objectives will be affected by your budget. If you've got like literally like the bare bones, sorry, you're a customer insights and sales support team. Guys, if you're on leads, we don't have the resource for that. We're going to need you to just get really close to our customers, support the sales team. If you're not happy with that, I'm going to have to weigh up if I want to work here. No problem. Obviously, don't do that in 15 seconds, but that's the idea. So we've got our review, objectives and budget. Okay, we're going to select our strategies. Less is more. I had a client where we went ahead with 2 strategies and we blitzed their target in 6 months because we just focused in on reigniting old data, getting some automation flows with emails, doing a bit of calling, and just really solidly going for it with those things. And actually they got better results than if they'd made the shopping list of 20 things they'd never get to do. Or if they did do it, they wouldn't be good results. So in terms of your strategies, get the basics in place. Ask yourself, is our CRM in good order? I know you just said no. Everyone I speak to is like, oh, the CRM, the salespeople won't use it. We've got to hire external CRM specialists to get these flows working, get the automation pathways set up. You should not be doing that yourself. I can't do it, I hire people. We need to know about our positioning. Why is it that people would choose you over the other options available? Most B2B companies just say, we sell this. We are B2B, we just say what we sell. We're not saying, here is why you should buy from us, based on the frustrations you feel with the other options available. So invest in brand positioning. Creative, getting your website flowing, understanding those funnels, getting everything in order takes investment. Alignment with sales, all that stuff. And then you want to make sure, whatever you're coming up with, that you have a direct connection between the objective, the strategy, and the tactic. Don't ever come up with tactics on their own. I'll give you a great example. A student asked me, I want to do this tactic, but it doesn't sit within my objectives. Where should I put it in my plan? And I said, outside of it. Why would you have a tactic that wastes your time and resource? Oh, but the CEO really wants to do that one. Well, explain to them then that they can't have that without taking something else out that's critical to achieving your strategy. The last one I want to say in terms of strategies, and this is something I struggled with for ages, is to try and get out of our heads. You've got to get out of your head with this. Really, strategy as a marketer is problem solving. It's not as much a process as we're led to believe. We need to think about, okay, what is our problem and how is the best way to get to achieving the challenge that will overcome that for us. That happens when you're zoning out in your car, listening to your favorite music. That happens when you're in the shower. Those moments are precious. Jot them down. Think outside the box. Don't just do what everyone else is doing. And that, for me, has helped me create the best strategies for my own business now, the B2B Jade business. So here you can see an example of taking the objective that we showed earlier through to strategies and tactics. So that's literally my template that I use. There's all sorts of strategies out there and templates, but I just found the way I did it to be the most useful for me. So for each of my marketing objectives, I will have the key result laid out and then the strategies to connect with that. So for example, here the key result is achieve 15% client retention rate, and then here one of my strategies is to have a customer success program, and then it moves into tactics to say, okay, how though? Like, agree which accounts are going to be involved, host these 2 events, launch the program by this date with these partners doing these things, and then the next step would be to actually put that into a campaign plan. So you do that for each of your hopefully 3 or 4 objectives. I never think that having more than 3 or 4 is manageable. And then you have your tactics list, and you can really look at it and think, have we got time to do all that? Can we simplify that? In terms of reporting, I really recommend slimming down and really making sure they connect with your original objective. I am not good at reporting analytics for my own business. I have very few business scorecard metrics I focus on. I know instinctively that when I do 4 TikToks a day, my sales do that. And when the podcast is, and the video podcast is regularly updated, my sales do that. I know that if I take 7 weeks off for the school holidays, which I just did, my sales go like that. So I instinctively know these things and I understand my business intimately. But when you have a CEO, you do need to do reporting. I recommend having someone help you with this strategic piece to really understand what needs to be measured. I use a data analytics, data scientist with mine, and he helped me to get the structure there, and then off I went each quarter. I was able to fill out because everyone has their weak areas. Sticking to the essentials, let the experts handle the details. So if you're hiring someone to do some kind of tactic, let them do the details. Don't you be panicking about all these deep dive analytics. Tell them what are the top level things that I need to know as a marketer, and then what am I going to need to share with my CEO, and make sure you understand where it sits within the overall strategy. And then understanding KPIs versus business scorecards. So for example, like your website traffic increasing, you're not really going to want to tell your CEO about that because it's not a real business impact result. But you might want to tell them about customer retention rates if they don't know. Revenue growth is a business scorecard. You can also say that number of new leads is a business scorecard, because if you can track how many will close, it's just to illustrate the point of understand what the real business impact on your marketing is, and that it's going to take time. And then when it comes to actually presenting your strategy, we were never going to be able to do a huge amount today. Presenting your strategy, think like a salesperson. How can you get them, how can you close this person? How can you make sure they're on side? You've given a top level summary of all the issues facing your review. You've shared the objectives. You're telling back to them. You're using words like we instead of I. If we would like to achieve our goals as a business, we are going to need to invest X in our marketing. Great. If you don't want to do that, we'll have to pull some things back. That change in language can be huge. Present yourself a clean, simple plan and connect back to the business goals. So if you'd like to carry on the conversation, you can watch my free training video that is an hour long, training you on this concept of the 6-stage marketing plan. There's also a ton of other resources like the marketing review template as well. I'm going to ask questions in a minute, we haven't got long. Go so quick. If you want to email me, I am giving away a free spot on my course, which I've never done before. I'm in partnership with the conference, so I'm giving one spot away for free. Email support@b2bjade.com. If you take a picture of the screen, it might be easier. Just tell me your biggest B2B challenge. And there's not that many people here in the grand scheme, so one person here, no one else, only the people who attended, is going to win free access to my course worth £1,297. So it'll be exciting to welcome one of you onto the course soon. Just need you to email me with subject breakthrough. And then maybe take a screenshot of this for later, but if you don't win, I'm also giving a £600 off my course, offer exclusively for technology for marketing attendees. There's currently a £300 off promotion from the full price, and you can get a further £300 off with the code TFM. So it's basically half price, which is mental. So thank you so much. Are there any questions during our last couple of minutes? Ooh, that went really quick. Are there any questions to me? Is it okay if they're on? Okay. Orcs. I'll just use the last minute to thank you then. Thank you so much for attending. You can follow me on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram. I have a video podcast if you want to hear more from me. And if you leave with anything today, just know you're not alone. The imposter syndrome is real. It can get better. Stepping up to leaders, being more strategic is really what it's about. And also the feeling of people leaving while you're still finishing is like, oh my gosh, this is so rubbish. But thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for being here. Yay, 30 seconds left. Oh, don't clap yourself, that's awkward. I'm sure I'll speak to a few of you after. Thank you very much. Thanks guys, thank you.